To step onto a modern ship's bridge at night is to enter a high-density information environment. Navigators are surrounded by glowing radar sweeps, electronic chart layers, weather routing overlays, and a constant stream of digital alerts demanding immediate attention. When a new technical system arrives in this space, it does not operate in a vacuum. It must compete for space and attention within this existing ecosystem of overlays and expectations. For over 2 decades, the operational baseline for this digital exchange has been the Automatic Identification System, or AIS. AIS was engineered for a specific, narrow scope. Operating over 25 kHz VHF channels, the physical architecture was built to broadcast identification, position coordinates, and brief text messages to nearby vessels. However, modern shipping now requires the exchange of complex digital files, dynamic ice charts, multi-layered weather polygons, and detailed route plans. This is data that the original AIS VHF data link was never designed to carry at scale. Over time, an operational drift occurred. AIS expanded in practice from a simple awareness tool into an informal decision support layer used for traffic interpretation. This radar display shows how that data is often used. Navigators frequently rely on the tracking information in these red text boxes to assess a target's closest point of approach, sometimes using it as a proxy for the other vessel's navigational intent. Because AIS data transmission is subject to timing lags and system conditions, treating this information as verified intent creates systemic risk in collision avoidance scenarios. Inspection regimes and training standards are currently enforcing a correction to this habit. The industry position is definitive. AIS supports awareness, but it does not replace radar plotting, visual assessment, or COLRAG-based decision-making. VDES is stepping directly into this recalibrated environment, forcing a reevaluation of how digital information is trusted on the bridge. The core technical problem is one of physics. The narrow bandwidth of legacy AIS cannot support the data loads of modern e-navigation, resulting in severe channel congestion and busy shipping lanes. This table outlines the architecture of the solution, the VHF Data Exchange System, or VDES. It is not a replacement for AIS, but a restructuring of maritime communication. The system uses a modular design. Legacy AIS is preserved for safety broadcasts, while newer, heavier data traffic is offloaded to application-specific messages and dedicated VDE channels. This works by using more efficient modulation. While legacy AIS uses a slow GMSK signal, VDES employs 16 quadrature amplitude modulation, encoding data through multiple phases and amplitudes simultaneously to transfer more bits within the same bandwidth. By combining these new modulations with expanded 100 kHz channel widths, the system achieves a 32-fold increase in data capacity over the Maritime VHF band. A dynamic link layer manages this traffic, adapting transmission parameters between robustness and capacity to prevent packet collisions. By mathematically compressing data and separating traffic types, VDES resolves the bandwidth crisis while protecting primary safety channels. This capacity change moves maritime communication away from simple broadcasting and toward a managed point-to-point addressed network. Vessels can now execute targeted data transfers, pinging a specific server for weather data or exchanging route plans directly with another ship, without cluttering the main broadcast frequencies. The terrestrial component, VDE-Ter, remains bound by VHF line of sight, meaning connectivity drops off in deep ocean areas. The VDE-SAT component bridges this gap. Orbital relays extend this high-capacity network across the planet, providing a reliable data link even in remote oceans. This integrated architecture turns the ship into a global broadband node. Historically, maritime safety information arrived via systems like Navtex as localized text strings that required manual interpretation and plotting. VDES delivers this information directly to the ship's computers in the standardized IHO S100 data structure. Data now renders instantly on the navigation interface as structured, actionable layers, such as a dynamic ice edge polygon mapped against the ship's intended route. This flow is bidirectional. Ships can automatically transmit near real-time sensor observations back to shore authorities without crew intervention. However, because this information arrives in a polished, system-ready form, there is a natural tendency for navigators to treat it as complete and perfectly reliable. VDES eliminates the mechanical friction of translating text, but it increases the cognitive discipline required to interpret that data objectively. Regulators are moving VDES towards SOLAS Chapter V as an alternative means of compliance for AIS, but it is not currently a mandatory requirement. It is also important to note that VDES does not replace GMDSS. Distress communications continue to be governed through established systems. This creates an implementation gap where ships with different technical capabilities will share the same space under the same COLREG framework. There is also a common assumption that because VDES operates over VHF radio, it is isolated from cyber threats. In reality, VDES acts as a direct sensor. High-capacity data feeds into the navigation system, bypassing traditional IT firewalls. If a shore network is compromised, a corrupted data packet can be ingested automatically with no human in the loop. Until global authentication protocols are fully mature, this represents an automated backdoor that demands rigid verification procedures from the crew. On the modern bridge, the challenge is no longer accessing information, but prioritizing competing inputs. Integration requires strict procedural discipline, defining which data layers are permitted during pilotage and establishing mandatory cross-checks against primary sensors before taking action. The COLREG's framework remains absolute, recognizing what is assessed and acted upon in real time, not what is digitally transmitted. From a command perspective, more information does not autonomously improve safety. Decision-making continues to rest on radar, visual observation, and the professional assessment of the officer of the watch. This technology creates a more informed vessel, but the responsibility for navigational safety remains irreversibly with the bridge team. For further professional analysis and operational insights, visit the DeepDraft and subscribe to the weekly Maritime Brief.